Hey guys, Discern Magic here, and there are some more Hour of Devastation spoilers that just came out. I do like the pace this time, but honestly I've been too busy with work to honestly follow it all. But we've got 102 out of 199 spoiled, and as far as I recall, and it seems people are all on the same page with this, we still don't really know why the artwork had to be redrawn for the 15 basic lands. Now the full art, that makes sense. Now were those included in the bonus 15? I don't think so, because there should be 15 lands. But then again, there could be 10 and then 5 full arts, and then that's like the 1 in 4 shot. I don't really know the math on it. But hey, instead of doing some guesswork, let's just wait until we see the basic lands. I have a feeling they will be the last ones spoiled, and I think that the prevailing theory is correct, which is they had to move the sun in all the backgrounds. At the very least, that was true for the full arts. The sun had to be in between the horns, and it just wasn't, so now it is. So that's cool, thanks to whoever suggested that theory. So let's jump right into the cool cards here. First of all, hey, non-English one. You know I love those. You know, thank God they decided to honor Brazil with a bunch of Portuguese cards to a bunch of Portuguese, I don't know, bloggers and YouTubers is something down there. I don't know. I don't follow Portuguese Magic. Oh, and then almost the entire shipment of pre-order packs going to the country Brazil was stolen because Brazil's a crap hole. You know what, Wizards? Maybe just release them to English people, considering you're an English company in an English country. Anyway, in English, this says something like Emmet Eternal, which is probably Eternal Emmet. I mean, I didn't think Asian languages put the descriptor after the noun, but I don't know. Couldn't care less. I stick to Latin-based languages. But it's a 3 cost 5/5, which is already pretty nuts. It has afflict 3, which is pretty nice. And whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a -1/-1 counter on Emmet Eternal. I'm just going to say Eternal Emmet. But whenever it deals combat damage to a player, remove all of the -1/-1 counters from it. This is awesome. I don't usually like chaotic and unpredictable, unreliable cards, but this just looks like fun. I mean, you know, winning is fun too, but this just looks like it would be fun in like a pre-release or, you know, whatever. So let's say they cast 2 spells. Okay, now he's a 3/3 for 3. That's fine. I mean, he doesn't have lifelink or death touch, trample, nothing. He's just a big old creature. But every time he makes contact with the player on a hit, basically, he removes all -1/-1 counters from him for the next swing. That's absolutely brilliant. So at a certain point, you're going to be, you know, they're going to run out of spells and you're going to be hitting them for 4 to 5 every single turn. Well, assuming they let them through. Now, could they cast 5 spells in the same turn to kill him, or 2 spells, block, and then 3 more the next turn? Yeah. But I mean, is that even a proper use of spells? Like, how many cards do they even have in their hand? But I mean, hey, that kind of manipulation of the board state, like making them block over and over and over, otherwise this card's going to get out of control and reset itself, that's just brilliant. I love everything about this card. If this was double black, this would probably go in a modern deck, no joke. Well, not just a modern deck, Black Devotion. So next up, and FYI, a ton of these are the new, the hell do they call these? They're not flip cards. I don't even remember or care. The stupid, ugly, sideways flashback cards. But this particular one is Appeal to Authority. Until end of turn, target creature gets trample and +X/+X, where X is the number of creatures you control. For 1 is a sorcery. That's insane. I mean, you would think this would cost like 3 or something. This is another one of those cards that falls into the pitfall of it looks good, it looks powerful, but you could translate it to, if you're already probably going to win the game, win even more. Board state cards like this, they're pretty rough. I mean, Devotion, it makes sense, but this is like, oh, I've got 8 creatures on the battlefield. Well, great, you could probably just swing and flood them 2 turns in a row and they'd be dead. Why do you need this card? You don't. That said, I mean, trample, you could kill him that turn. So it's worth the 1 mana. Now here's the messed up part. Authority, which is only 3, so if you're running a green-white deck, you could probably cast the same turn. Tap up to 2 target creatures your opponents control. Creatures you control gain vigilance until end of turn. So not only can you block on the rebound because your creatures didn't tap, but 2 blockers, the biggest ones that could stop you, are now tapped. This card is lethality in card form. I fully expect this to be $1.50 or more. I mean, this looks like the golden uncommon from this set. I mean, could you imagine it in elves? You wouldn't even need the damn second part. Anyway, the next one is Doomfall. I just like this one. It's cool. It's one of those optionality, aka modal spells. It's a sorcery. It's black. It only costs 3, so it's doable. Target opponent exiles a creature he or she controls, so of their choice, but it's exiled, not going to the graveyard, which is actually really important in the standard meta right now. Or not even the meta, just standard in general in the mechanic set. The second ability that you can choose, now you can't choose both, can't escalate them, can't overload it, none of that, strive, nothing. It's not even legal anyway. Target opponent reveals his or her hand, you choose a non-land card from it, and then exile it. So the top one, they're in control and it's their choice, but it has to be a creature, and then the bottom one is your choice. So I like that. I mean, it's a good, solid black card. I mean, it's not outrageous, it's just good. Next up, Driven to Despair. For 2 mana as a sorcery in green, you can, until end of turn, not you can, but until end of turn, creatures you control gain trample, all of them, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So, Suicide Swing, draw like 4 cards, everybody's dead, replace them all. I mean, that's just brilliant. Then you got Despair. Until end of turn, creatures you control gain menace, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card. That is insane on the turn that you use Driven if you were to have the mana for both. And it's just unbelievable by itself on a later turn. You could single-handedly nuke their entire hand. I mean, unless they have a Blessed Alliance and they unleash it on you, then it's like, whatever. Otherwise, yeah, they're in trouble. Now, this one is actually rare, and can you feel it? Can you feel the rareness, the power level shift? Next up, Farm to Market. Bit strange there. Destroy target attacking or blocking creature. This artwork looks so weird. It's like a painting and not meant to look real, unless this is just a really bad image of it. It's almost like cel-shaded or something. And there's like a mummy swinging at like some person who looks like they're caught in the wind, and then there's like a storm in the background and everything's wrecked, and what the hell does that have to do with farming? This is just weird. I mean, I guess the mummy could be helping them farm with that big old scythe thing. I don't know. Anyway, instant, destroy target attacking or blocking creatures. Straight up. Now, there's better versions of this, but, you know, aftermath. So, market is draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. Really, really, really crap ability. It's not card advantage, but this will help somebody get their combo off, and it's a control card. Now, I cannot understate the importance of that. If you are looking to get Aetherworks Marvel out, not anymore, you want to mow through your deck as quickly as possible. You need the pieces of that combo, and you need them quickly. So, drawing 2, and then discarding 2 afterwards. If you didn't like the 2 cards, ditch them. If one was right, one wasn't, ditch one of the old cards. You know, if you don't like either of the cards in your hand, draw 2, they're probably better, ditch the old ones. I mean, the after decision is so much better than the pre-decision. But yeah, I mean, 2 at a time, it's not exactly Glimmer of Genius, but it's just sitting there in your graveyard waiting to work. So, of course you wouldn't cast this at the same time. I mean, that doesn't even make sense, nor could you actually. It's impossible. One's an instant, one's a sorcery. But I just think this is already an underrated card because control combo pieces. So if there's a deck that's really, really combo heavy and it's on color with these 2, you're going to see this card. Otherwise, you're probably not. There's better versions of it. Next up, the long-awaited God Pharaoh's Gift. This card was referenced on that other card where on the 3rd brick counter or whatever you can bring it out or something like that. I don't know. I think you can go get it from the deck. Now, this is a rare and it's a 7-cost artifact, so hello. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. It gains haste until end of turn. So if it had double strike, hello, you get to keep that. If it had lifelink, that's cool. Flying, cool. Menace, trample, whatever, doesn't matter. It keeps it. So a 4/4 with any of those traits is pretty damn good. I mean, this is definitely good. Now, the funny thing is, this is not Whip of Erebos. Nowhere does it say that it goes away. It just says, choose one. Okay, clone it. You got a 4/4. It gains haste. It can attack immediately. The end. You get to keep it. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Now, casting this naturally is pretty nuts, but if it was like a self-mill stall combo deck or something, I don't know, I guess I would play it. I don't think it's that great of a card overall, but if you were to bring it out for free with that other card, that would be cool. It's just how many people are going to do it? I don't know. I just thought I'd show it because everybody was waiting on it since it was referenced by name. So the next up is a really cool one. I just like the artwork on this. Hollow One. He doesn't have any hands. He's a 4/4 for 5, and he's an artifact creature and a golem. Everybody's waiting for a golem. That's cool. It costs 2 colorless less to cast for each card you've cycled or discarded this turn. So if they force you to discard, great. If you cycled or discarded a card all on your own, great. And then it itself has cycling if you just can't cast it. Everything about that is just great. I think anybody running cycling or some kind of weird like madness discard thing. Well, I think madness is a discard replacement effect. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it occurs after you discard it and you just discard it into a different zone. Hopefully somebody knows. I'm too lazy to look it up. But yeah, this card is just excellent. It's like a little miniature masterwork Colossus or whatever that card is that everybody casts for free. Now next up, this card is insane. It's a mythic, and it's one of those ones they throw in just for fun, like Behold the Beyond, and nobody actually plays it. Can't wait to pull 6 foils of it, because that's always my luck. Overwhelming Splendor. Oh boy. It costs 8. Good luck with that. It's an aura curse. That's right, curses are back. There's actually quite a few of these now. Enchant player. I just like that for some reason. Plus, you have to attach it to the permanent. Like, if you have an aura, you have to put it literally on the permanent, on the battlefield. So, I'm going to extrapolate the rulings too. You have to physically attach this card to the opponent. Anyway, enchant player, creatures enchanted player controls lose all abilities and have base power and toughness 1/1. But wait, there's more. Enchanted player can't activate abilities that aren't mana abilities or loyalty abilities. That is some funny crap. They can't even bring their manlands to life. I mean, they can't do anything. They basically lost the game. This is called, hey, forfeit. But it's 8 mana, so it's like if you get it off, 8 to 9 to 10 cost spells usually do end the game. I can't imagine somebody winning with no access to their abilities and everything being a 1/1 with no traits at all, no properties, no abilities, nothing. Maybe you could remove this, obviously, exile it or destroy it or whatever. That's not that hard. But I just love it. I think it's fun. Am I going to play with it? Hell no. Not without free casting. You can't get 8 out. Not even in those colors. You'd have to use like Scions or something, and then there's better things you can do with 8 mana. I just think it's funny. It's a cool card. It's a complete waste of a mythic, but it's kind of funny. Next up, Refuse to Cooperate. 4-cost instant in red. Refuse deals damage to target spell's controller equal to that spell's converted mana cost. Its converted mana cost on the stack is different than its converted mana cost as a card. So if they cast Endless One for 8, on the stack, its converted mana cost is 8. So if you cast this, they will take 8 damage. Remember that because a lot of people have it in their heads that X always equals 0 on converted mana cost. That is not the case. Now, the Aftermath, which only costs 3, is Cooperate. Copy target instant or sorcery spell. You may choose new targets for the copies. So that's just cool. I like that. I'm more of a redirect guy in the first place, but this just looks cool. I mean, the artwork's cool. I like the concept of it. It's just pretty neat. Still want to know who those blue dudes are, though. Next up, pretty killer card, Resolute Survivors. Looks like they went pretty nuts on the mixed colors here. Cost 3, it's a 3/3. You may exert it as it attacks. Whenever you exert a creature at all, so them or someone else, Resolute Survivors deals 1 damage to each opponent, and you gain 1 life. So, I mean, that's just a good card. The only thing wrong with it is perpetuating the stereotype that all Egyptians were black. That is provably false, and I don't think they dress like that either, for the record. But hey, good for them for surviving Nicol Bolas's assault, or whatever. I mean, they were the ones who caused it, and they're a bunch of brainwashed morons, but whatever. Nobody's perfect. So I like this in like a white-red exert deck because white and red have the best exert. So, I mean, would I play it? Yeah, it's a 3/3 for 3 even if you don't get any kind of exert things. And if you do, no matter what they do, how they block, they're taking a bunch of damage and you're gaining life. So definitely sending the game in the right direction. And when you exert, you cannot block for basically like 2 turns. So yeah, that life gain is going to help you out a lot. Next up, Sinuous Striker, and this is basically a, what is that, not Aetherling or Aether something, the guy from like Gatecrash or whatever. I don't remember what the hell he was from, but yeah, you pay 1 blue, and he, instead of a 2/2, becomes a 3/1, so not quite the, 4/4 flexible guy or whatever. I think I'm thinking of two different cards. One was hybrid. Anyway, Eternalize too. So that's a little bit better because then it comes back as a 4/4, but maintains that ability. So that's where the flexibility comes in. So, you know, you can't minus its attack and plus its toughness, which is the normal way that cards like this work. You can only boost its attack. But yeah, 3/1, suicide it, whatever. If you 4/0 it, you won't even get to combat resolution. You'll just die. So yeah, having it come back for a mere 5, I mean, that's pretty low for Eternalize. And then have a 4/4, you could jack it up to, let's see, be 5/3, 6/2, 7/1. So you could hit him for 7 for 3 mana. So I like this. I mean, I just like it. And it's in blue. That's really surprising because blue really doesn't have Eternalize. It's more of a white thing. So, hey, I mean, you don't get big giant strikers in blue very often. If you're looking for them, usually keep looking. But we've got like Gyros Masterpiece and some other beastly cards like that. Oh my gosh. Blue can deal some damage. So next up, Struggle to Survive. For 3 as an instant red, you can deal damage to target creature equal to the number of lands you control. That's complete crap. Red doesn't usually dump out mountains of lands, haha, pun intended, but Survive Aftermath. Each player shuffles his or her graveyard into his or her library. These cards have absolutely nothing to do with each other, but it's still kind of cool. It's red removal with green anti-delirium. I mean, hey, it's definitely a sideboard card, but, you know, if you had to pull some, you know, roast equivalent or whatever out and then put this in because you need to nuke their graveyard, you could just hit a creature for like 1 just to have an excuse to put this in the graveyard and then wipe it. Otherwise, wait a while because usually you don't want to nuke their graveyard until later. And then, you know, unleash a ton of damage, remove a creature, and then also remove their graveyard. It's very, very narrow, but it's definitely useful. Next up, one of the many Torment cards, Torment of Scarabs. This card is insane. It's an Aura Curse. You know I love those. Costs 4. That's how you know it's going to be good. Enchant player at the beginning of enchanted player's upkeep. That player loses 3 life unless he or she sacrifices a non-land permanent or discards a card. So slap it on your opponent and it just chews away at him for the rest of the game. I'm starting to think that people are going to have to run Fragmentize in their sideboard. Hey, speaking of torments, here's Torment of Venom. Double black, that's how you know it's even better, and it is. Put 3 -1/-1 counters on target creature, and this is an instant, not an aura, by the way. Its controller loses 3 life unless he or she sacrifices another non-land permanent or discards a card. So 3 really bad options there, and you probably also killed the other creature, which they now, because of the chronological, you know, resolution thing, cannot choose to sacrifice. I mean, they could if it didn't die, but other than that, yeah. I like it because it's control, but it also has a subtle but, you know, reasonably powerful second effect. So that's wonderful. After this, we got Unraveling Mummy, another hyper-powerful 3-color, or 2-color. You don't really count generic mana as a color. Pay 1 white, 1 generic, target attacking zombie gains lifelink, and switch it to black, and target attacking zombie gains death touch. So at least you can't use it on defense, it has to be attacking, but holy crap! Black-white zombies and black-blue zombies and mono-black zombies, which one's going to be the best? Who knows, because they all just got some absolute madness added to them. Now notice it doesn't say other, and it doesn't say tap, so you can pay 4 and, you know, activate both of them on Unraveling Mummy if you really wanted. So yeah, I mean, black zombies with life gain, absolutely horrific. Plus all the board wipe options, the emergency board wipes that are in white and black right now, yeah, their sideboard just got better. So I think white-black is going to be the new zombies deck, potentially. It depends on speed and actual usability. So that's it for now. Hopefully you guys found some inspiring cards that you're definitely going to drop in your deck. I, for one, have no idea what I'm going to play or what I'm going to build. I'm probably just going to keep playing my Combat Specialist deck and make it even worse. The overall vibe I'm sensing from most people when I'm talking to them is that they agree. They're not going to just jump all over this and build an HOU deck or an Amonkhet block deck. They're basically just going to upgrade their existing deck and not buy anything from Hour of Devastation. I don't think it's going to sell well. That's not the first time I've said that. So watch out for that. I mean, most of the value in the set looks like it's almost coming exclusively from Modern, like the usability of some of these cards in Modern. But hey, I mean, shake up Modern, that's good, because Modern's boring and stale. And at the same time, hey, let's, you know, put some value in a small set that's a second in a block and is famous for never selling very well. Also, it's the ace set to be legal, so you really don't have to buy it. You can just build anything else. So yeah, it doesn't have a whole lot going for it, but, you know, it's pretty decent. It looks decent and fun and reasonable, and I can't wait to play it at the pre-release, except I probably can only go to one of them. My schedule for July is miserably awful. Speaking of that, I'll see you guys at KitsuneCon. So far, total RSVPing players is one person. But damn it, one person, I will sign anything you've got. I mean, hey, I've got slightly more subscribers than that douchebag arrogant piece of garbage that just tried to sneak into VidCon twice because he's an Instagram model. Hopefully you heard about that one. Twitter temporarily suspended some of my account because I started sending him some wonderful tweets, but totally worth it. Totally deserved. Apparently, shaming people for their bad behavior and trying to correct it and trying to have natural consequences for acting like a stuck-up douchebag, oh, that's cyberbullying. Yeah, no, that's not a natural reaction that the rest of society would all have, and I'm totally the only person to send him a rude, offensive tweet. Yeah, thanks, Twitter. You're really protecting people. If they wanted to protect people, they'd frickin' remove his account. Where the hell was I going with this? Oh, yeah. So I'm like the opposite of him, so I'm setting my standards at, I'm not famous at all. Let's see if one person at KitsuneCon can recognize me. That's it. Hell, it'll probably be Jeremy if I can get him to go. Oh, and also Chris from Legendary Mana might be there. It's going to be the greatest and biggest gathering of MTG YouTubers since like last week or whatever when GP Vegas was. So I'm looking forward to that. And, you know, beforehand, if you wanted to, you know, head on over to teespring.com/whatever the hell it says in the description and buy an awesome Desolator Magic t-shirt, well, you would just be my greatest fan ever. Just kidding. That spot's always reserved for my mom. Just kidding. She thinks YouTube's dumb as hell. I mean, every time she's like, did they really pay you like real money or is it like some kind of Google money? I'm like, I paid rent with this. Are you kidding me? That's real money. That's US dollars. I don't know, you guys. I don't trust that their internet. So thanks for watching. Watch for more spoilers in the near future, and I will see you guys next video.